Good evening and welcome, race fans, to the logistical home of stock car racing. We are here at the Charlotte Motor Speedway for round one of the OSCA Weekend Woodsman Series Chase-Off. Tonight we see the beginnings of who will write their story into the history books as OSCA champion. I'm Cameron Rich with Ty McIntosh in the booth and Carlos Acosta manning the cameras as always. Last week at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, we saw two drivers take their respective half wins on opposite ends of the Chase-Off spectrum. Darren Staff was on the bubble coming into the night, and a marvelous performance in half one saw him capture his first OSCA win. And James Miller in half number two culminated a late season charge with his fourth win on the season and the points lead going into tonight. Let's go ahead and look at those standings for the drivers and the teams. James Miller, as we just talked about, he's got the points lead. He is tied with Austin Beers, but I believe Miller gets the count back on wins, and he's got 2 points over Gore and Bracey and Flemons. Flemons actually not here tonight, so we can kind of count him out of the playoff scenario. All but it is 2 points between them. And then about, looks like 11 points back down to Jake Scarborough. So did I do that math correctly? No, I did not actually. That is 9 points. So there's your points. And in the team standings, Team Mixture Rich still with their bolstering on the season. 1568 down with South Shore in second. Redux has fallen back to third with 1520. And then it's Binks, RK, Weekend Woodsman, and Do Good making up the top seven. So that's pretty much your full-time teams right there. And Ty, this Chase-Off, I think we're going to see a pretty good one right before we get into our picks here. It's been a really fun season, and I think this Chase-Off little grid we have is going to be a fun time. We got 4 different types of tracks, and we're going to end at one of my favorite tracks, Nashville Super Speedway, which is not at all a Super Speedway. How are you feeling about tonight?
I mean, I think this is going to be a fantastic start, right? I think you look at how these guys have done at these kinds of racetracks, and we started a mile and a half where we've had some tight racing, but these guys have been really respectful all season, and it's been something that I've enjoyed watching and getting to call. And I think, like you said, ending at Nashville, what a better place to go to than a super speedway where these trucks are going to be pretty tight. They're going to have to save their tires, and at the end of the day, only one of them can win that championship.
And what a great city too. Nashville is just a great place to be. Let's go ahead and get into our picks tonight. I think we do have a refreshed pick grid, so all of our bad picks and good picks from the regular season, that's out of the way, wiped out, and we're starting fresh.
That's right. So you can only pick the full timers, so got 20 guys you can pick from. Tim, you're up first.
I'm gonna go with Daniel Gore.
It's a good pick.
Risky.
Like that pick. Neil, who you got?
I'm gonna go with Jake Scarborough.
Like that pick. So you guys went the Redux route, and I am not gonna go the Redux route. In fact, I'm gonna go with Austin Beers for this first half. TP, you're up.
Well, you guys went just straight through my first picks there, so we're gonna hit. Let's do some Ray Bracey.
Could be a good pick. Carlos, who you got?
I gotta go with my boy. He got his first victory last week, and he's the franchise of RKM driver. He's a franchise driver of RKM, so I'm gonna pick Darren Staff. Get a second week win.
Cam, who you got?
I'm feeling a little weird tonight. I'm feeling just kind of like I want to just pick somebody that reminds me that I hate myself. No, I'm just kidding. But let's go with Noah Brown.
Can't go with Noah Brown. Noah Brown's not a...
Oh, he's not full-time anymore. Yeah, okay. Well,
That is a certified
I will go
Redux
ahead.
racing moment.
That is yep.
Hey, you can't
Let's go
say
with
that.
Santi.
Go Santi. There you go. So my girlfriend's at work, but she wants Dylan Thomas this first half.
Well, I can't help but notice that nobody went with somebody who's popped off these last couple weeks, Mr. James Miller. So give me James Miller for half.
Cool.
That's going to wrap up picks, so we'll keep an eye on those throughout the night. As Cam mentioned earlier, anybody that is a full-timer and a playoff driver has been reset, so we can use them, because we were down in the trenches last week. It wasn't fun. I had a moment where I had to choose between Adam Peeler and Aaron Evans, and I went with Adam, and I did okay. So,
Yeah, you
9
got two
point lead.
choices and they're both wrong.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like which. I think the exact thing that I even quoted Adam to his face. I said I had to choose which one of you wasn't going to wreck fast. So, and then I chose Adam anyways. But then Aaron wrecked a lot, so then Adam passed him again. So it was, in the end, it was correct. Obviously, qualifying getting wrapped up. We got about 4.5 minutes left. Jake Scarborough is your pole sitter right now. Austin Beer second. Santiago third. Fourth is Tate Lytle. Fifth, Darren Staff. Sixth, Daniel Gore. Seventh, Neil Rutt. Adam Peeler is eighth. Ray Bracey ninth. And Aaron Evans is 10th. So pretty tight qualifying so far. 94 to a 97. That's your top two, as you see there on the 3-wide TV cam there. Get a good angle of these cars flying by.
Yeah, and just a fun little story about Jake here, I guess. So, for anybody that doesn't know, I guess, I do work in IT. And he did hit me up before the race, and he had a little bit of a blue screen problem with his computer. It actually wouldn't boot up, so we got that resolved in about 15, 20 minutes. He was a little bit worried about not being able to make the race. Good to see him out there, and I'm glad I was able to help him. And, I mean, he's out there in P1 right now, so about as quick as you can go. We got 3 minutes here, Ty. There's a lot of trucks on track still, and from what I know about Charlotte, this track heats up pretty quickly. So do you see anybody getting quicker? Maybe challenge that pole time by the end of the session?
I'm going to be honest with you. There's not a lot of cloud cover. I think we might see a couple guys that are a little lower jump up. Maybe the guys that are in the ones, they might jump up into the zeros, but I don't think that they're going to get too much closer than that. I mean, there's not a single cloud out here. There's no cloud cover. There's just complete sun all over this place. So unless it just starts pouring down rain in the distance and the cloud cover gets here, I don't think so.
Yeah, but anyway, I've been to Charlotte a few times. Sun definitely comes out a lot there. It gets pretty hot. But I guess we have a couple minutes here. Do we want to go ahead and explain a little bit about how the playoff is going to work, the elimination, something we're going to see at every round in this chase-offs?
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's something that we're going to have to encounter every week as we go until we crown a champion. So obviously, as we talked about with points, everybody's separated. I think Vic said that it was 2 points for every win, and then you get your playoff point with your clean half. So that's you see James and Austin, they're tied for the lead. Then they have a 2-point gap over Daniel, Ray, and AJ, and then Darren, Santi, Tom, they're all split by 1. Or Darren's split by 1 over those two, and then everybody else is a little different. So those points are going to matter because every position does equal a point. We know that. But those extra points that they have, James starting with 9 over Jake, James could get in a really unfortunate situation, and that could be his saving grace of the night over somebody, is those extra bonus points that he had. So I don't know if they're going to reset every week. I think that they go back to whatever they got from, like, everybody gets like a certain window, I think. So I'm supposing that next week it'll probably be like 1,100 or 1,200, and in the bonus points, that's my assumption.
That's what I got too. It's like they get their playoff points as the base, kind of, sort of, and then it just goes from there. So not entirely like NASCAR system where it does kind of reset a lot more. I do believe going into the last half, the points will not reset entirely as well there either, kind of like NASCAR does. So it's not going to be just whoever finishes best. Ooh, that was a bad hit.
Good God. Dallas, my hand just went flying into the catch fence on the backstretch off of the nose of Dakota Pignateros. That's not a fun time. Adam Peeler.
Adam Peeler taking the chicane, but a bit of an alternative version of that, going into the grass there.
Something to note tonight. It's a personal throwback night, so these guys, their trucks might look a little different. Adam Peeler throwing it back to one of his OSCA schemes. David Westergreen did not have one, but I think by far one of my favorite ones that I've seen. Ray Bracey has a beautiful blue and white Ford F-150 thrown back to his NR 2003 days, and it looks absolutely beautiful. I think with the white spoiler too. Talking to him, I told him that was a nice touch. Thankfully, it's a playoff banner. See Dallas my hand. He's got one of his first OSCA paint schemes there. Tom Capuano also throwing it back. Nice truck, beautiful truck there. Which Tom always has nice trucks. always has stuck with red, black, and white, I guess. Which, I mean, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
I gotta say, as the team owner of that truck, I gotta. If he brought that old truck back full time, I wouldn't be too upset about that. But concluding qualifying here, Jake Scarborough, he's able to hold on to that pole position. He's going to start the race in P number 1 with a 29.947. Next to him, Austin Beers, first TMR driver of the night. He's going to start in P2. Santiago Aguirre, he starts in P3. And then Tate Lytle, making his return to the series after about a month and a half out, he starts in P4. Darren Staff got his first win ever in OSCA last week. He starts P5. And then Daniel Gore starts in P6. Look for him to be strong tonight. P7 is going to be Neil Rett. Actually scroll on me a little bit there. P8 is going to be Adam Peeler. P9 is going to be Ray Bracey. Aaron Evans is in P10. David Westergreen in P11. And then Dustin Dewar in P12. Ty.
James Miller's going to start in the 13th position. Dave Carpenter to his outside in spot number 14. 15th to Noah Brown. He's going to be starting next to Dallas Myhand. Patrick Hickey's going to roll off 17th with Kynan Jones to his outside. Gilberto Javier Gomera, he's going to start 19th. Matt Hackerthorne to his outside. Thomas Capuano, 21st. Dylan Thomas, 22nd. 23rd, Jordan Tarble. 24th, Dakota Pignataro. 25th, Nate Hall. DJ Weeks, I don't think is in the session at the moment. No, he is. He's just not graded yet. He will start 26th, and Tim Conrad will roll off 27th.
A pretty big field for tonight to start the chase-offs. Good to see some of the drivers that haven't been here a little while come back. Charlotte, always a great track with the trucks. Puts on really good racing. We're going to see some side-by-side. I think the high side is going to come into play, especially with these hot and slick conditions. And look for some sideways action, too, tonight, I think. It's going to be high stakes, high intensity. Got a lot on the line here with those playoffs, or chase-offs, really. So only 4 events. Really, one mistake could take you out of the whole thing. So look for those chase-off drivers to be on their A game tonight.
Yeah, and something I want to note here, looking at the last playoff driver that qualified here tonight, Dylan Thomas, he's rolling off pretty deep in the field, 22nd to be exact. So he's going to be somebody that is going to have to work his way through the field. Somebody not too far in front of him, I mean, Thomas Capuano, he's right there beside him. Matt Hackerthorne's also there. So some guys that are going to have to work their way up, and they're going to need those points. All 3 of those guys have, I mean, Dylan Thomas, I think he's up there in the 4th or 5th spot in the points right now, but Thomas Capuano, Matt Hackerthorne, they have to get a move on because they only have one night. I think that's the difference between the NASCAR chase and the chase here in OSCA is that, you know, now these guys have one night, and if they get into a wreck, it's over. And where do the wrecks happen, Cam?
Well, I guess we will see for certain, but most of the time on the racetrack, I would have to say. Most of the time it's on the racetrack. But I know what you're trying to say. It could be 4 drivers, fields in the hands of Jake Scarborough, and green flag is out. Ooh, not a good start for him. Good start on the outside, though, for Austin Beers. He actually beats the number 77 to the line, and into the sole position of the spot number 1 goes Austin Beers. Battle's going to be behind him. 56 of Tate Lytle. He's looking pretty racy on his return back, and Jake Scarborough, he's struggling a little bit there through turns 1 and 2. I think that truck was a little bit tight. Couldn't get it under him very well. Now he's under fire from some of his teammates. The 88 of Aguirre. That's your first battle on the track there for about P4 or 5 on back or so. Right now it is all Austin Beers. Ooh, wreck in the back. Somebody's in the wall hard. Noah Brown and Dave Carpenter. Something happened there out of turn number 4, and both of those trucks are heavily damaged. So lap 2, and that good start to the race. A little bit nerf, Ty.
Yeah, I know everybody was probably starting to get the dust off and get comfortable and start to maybe form some comfortability with this truck out here on the racetrack, and that's all going to get put to the side. Noah Brown just thought he was clear completely, Dave Carpenter, and nowhere to go for Dave. So unfortunate damage. I believe that's probably pretty significant damage to the right side of both of those trucks.
I saw that 65 a little bit sideways, loosey-goosey there through turns 3 and 4. About right there.
Well,
loses the back end a little bit. He pushes up. Look,
Dave
71.
Before Noah got there.
Yeah, Dave was in the wall, and that was just a weird situation. They were both kind of doing stuff they shouldn't have been doing there, and that's kind of why the wreck happened. But we'll go on board with the 71 of Dave Carpenter here. He's on the outside and then into the wall there. I think that was going to be a wreck regardless, whether that wall was there or not. The 65, I think, was going to hit the 71. So, I think both those drivers just ran out of racetrack a little bit, but we'll see what race control says. Either way, not a great start to either of those drivers' nights. That is going to be a lot of damage. And, Ty, aero here at Charlotte, pretty important. You don't want that truck to be all banged and up and dinged up because it will hurt your performance.
Oh yeah, no, especially like once we get to a certain point in the race, I think everybody's going to be on the top side. And when you get up on that wall, if you have any kind of aero damage, it's not going to go well for you, especially if you got trucks in front of you. You're going to be moving around trying to get clean air, and it's going to get 10 times harder if the right side of the truck is mangled. We roll through the field here. Take a look at everybody.
Got a message from Noah Brown. He said in the driver's chat, "I suck. That's my bad." So still, we'll see what race control's call is, but he seems like Noah is taking at least a little bit of fault for that.
Vic has called actually almost instantly from the wreck that it was a racing deal. So, kind of hard to call. Dave did get into the wall before Noah got there. So, I think they both would have made contact with each other. I think ultimately a racing deal is probably the fairest way to do that, without kind of nitpicking everything that each driver's doing. So, quick and easy for Vic.
Yeah. I probably should turn my driver's chat back on. I was in practice earlier, and I did not want to hear people. But now I do want to hear people. So let's do that. There we go. Nice to know what's going on in the race.
So I guess one good thing for these playoff drivers, as long as you're not a South Shore driver that you miss your teammate, is there only 2 drivers are really going home tonight. So we already have 1 set to the side, and 2, so less pressure. Less opportunity. Right,
because one of those is going to be AJ Plemons. He's just not here, so don't think either Noah or Dave were in the playoffs, so really not going to matter too much for them. But I think, we'll confirm that. But yeah, pretty good start to the race. I think the 56 here are looking pretty quick tonight, just kind of acting as a spoiler for the playoff drivers. He's not really racing for anything except for the win and for some points for South Shore. So, how aggressive does Tate Lytle want to be in that 56, knowing that he has a bunch of playoff drivers around him, but he still is racing for his team? I guess we will have to see. We know he's very, very aggressive. We know he's very, very fast. We know sometimes he can also be a little bit too aggressive and a little too fast. So we'll see what happens. Base truck's pulling off there into the pit lane. Field is now in the hands of Austin Beers, started second, now on the point. And starter has a green flag. There it goes. Good start for that 19 on the inside this time. He got the good start on the outside last time. He's going to have a car length lead going into turn number 1. Here comes the 56 on the inside line. Going to top off that move from Jake Scarborough on the bottom. It's going to be single file through 1s and 2, actually. As I say, that Tate Lotto goes to the outside, but still single file through 1 and 2. Best battle now for about P5 there with Santiago Aguirre and Neil Rutt in that 66 machine. Turn number 3. Neil Rutt looks like he's going to go ahead and get it on the inside.
Santi with a little bit of a rough restart there. Restarted in the 4th position. Wasn't able to quite get going. He's fell back a little bit, but he's trying to get back up to speed with the help of Darren Staff. So he's fighting right now, as you mentioned, Neil Rutt for that 5th spot. Up front, though, it's a tight 3-car race right now. Jake Scarborough all over the back of Tate Lytle, who's all over the back of Austin Beers. The cluster, though, starts with Daniel Gore and Santiago. As Tate's going to get to the inside of Austin Beers here, we might have a run for the lead. Scarborough's going to try to give some aero push to Beers. I don't know if it's really going to do too much, but Tate's all the way to the inside. Side by side for the lead. Tate's going to make a huge run through the center of 3 and 4, and he's going to clear him.
That was a big move, and then, here comes Austin Beers back on the inside, trying to do that crossover move. He's not going to quite get there at the line, but trying to get his truck positioned for turn number 1. He's going to have that inside line. And not sure what line is going to be dominant here tonight. I think usually in turns 1 and 2, the outside line is a little bit better, but the inside line will save your tires just a little bit more. But momentum certainly. Contact!
Good
wow!
Save by Tate. They're going to be 3 wide.
That was
Tate
wild.
There. That was, golly. Props to Tate for hanging on to that. That was crazy. I thought for sure Tate might have been headed into the outside wall head on.
Yeah, that was wild. Good driving for on his part. That truck was certainly about 45 degrees sideways, and Battle for the lead now. Austin Beers all out of sorts now. He's under fire from Darren Staff and Jake Scarborough here. Darren Staff, after that win last week, he's looking for much more. And we did kind of say after you get the first one, more will be coming. So that 45 looking pretty racy here tonight. He's got to get around that number 77 of Scarborough first. Looks like he's going to have the run on the outside at the line. Give it to the 45. Move him up to P2.
Here's a replay.
Yeah, we get a look at it here on the Pro TV multicam. Honestly, maybe a little bit of netcode. I don't know. Let's see. Maybe get a... Hard to say. Hard to say. Either way, despite Tate losing a bunch of spots, he saved it. We're all good. We stay green. Darren Staff all over the back bumper of Austin Beers. A little bit further back, James Miller, he's up to the 9th spot. Ray Bracey's up there. He's fighting. Neil Rutt fell back a little bit. He's coming back. Right on board with Darren Staff here. Look at the lane difference here. Beers is going to try to take it to the bottom. Darren's going to try to take the momentum off of the top. As Cam mentioned, Darren winning at Indy, you know, you get the monkey off the back. I can say that it happened for me. Went without winning for 2 years. It felt like it actually was 2 years, I think, here in OSCA, and then won at the Bull Ring and came right back at Daytona and won another one. So Darren's looking to do the same thing here tonight, and if he keeps his speed up, he's going to have a shot too.
Oh, nothing fixes any type of anything like winning. It makes everything feel better. So I know how Darren's feeling tonight. He's motivated. He's confident. And as we kind of mentioned in the broadcast, he was kind of not really on the outside looking in, but he was at risk of losing out coming into the playoffs. So with that win, you know, he's got to be feeling good about tonight. And definitely, I mean, running very well right now. P2 to Austin Beers is pretty good.
Got a little bit of an update on our biggest movers so far through the field. Thomas Capuano, he started 21st. He's up to 14th. Dylan Thomas, he started 22nd. He was up to 15th. He's fallen back to 17th. So a little bit of a fight there with Matt Hackathorn, who's also moved up from the 20th spot. Thomas Capuano bumped in. Zach Evans did qualify for the playoffs here in OSCA, but knew that he was going to miss tonight and didn't want to take that playoff spot away because, I mean, it ultimately would end up being an elimination as a one-night show. So Tom bumped in. And he's making pretty good work of it so far. Somebody that's been really consistent this season here in OSCA and deserved to bump his way in. So hopefully he can make it work and try to go a little further.
Is that a Mike Skinner scheme?
Maybe?
I think that is more or less, yeah. Definitely. I think the flames and the black and the red.
Oh, what do we
and
got
the
going on down there?
Oh, whoa, David Westergreen. Something happened further on behind him, too.
I was more looking at the back, and then David pulled out of nowhere. That was crazy. Look at that pack up there in the 7th, 8th, and on back positions. Adam Peeler, he's in 8th right now, holding off Neil Rutt. James Miller also up there with Ray Bracey. That's a little bit further back from Daniel Gore, who's in the 6th spot. If we look back out front, Austin Beer still maintains the lead. Darren Staff still 2nd. Jake Scarborough 3rd. Santy's still 4th. Tate Lytle has moved back up from 7th all the way up to 5th, so he's back on the charge through the field. Top of your screen, you can look at Matt Hackathorn, Dylan Thomas, Dallas Myhan, some playoff guys that are working their way through the top 15. Bottom of your screen, got Aaron Evans. No, it's not Aaron Evans. Who's that? That's DJ Weeks. I don't know why I thought that was the Evans Aquatics machine, but it wasn't. Battle for 2nd. Jake Scarborough got to the inside of Darren Staff. Darren took the momentum off of the top side and was able to clear him. That's going to set Santy up for a look on his teammate here in a couple laps if he really wanted to, but 15 laps through this half, Cam. I don't think we've seen anything really drastic change between the way these guys are driving their trucks. Obviously, Tate's somebody that I would expect, even after a spin and knowing how good Tate is, I thought for sure those tires would be feeling the effects more about halfway through this race.
Hey, you know, maybe he was a little bit tight and just heating up those rears instantly. Maybe.
Oh, there's a little struggle.
Yeah, definitely a sideways there. So, you know, you are kind of given, you're dealt the hand you are as a driver, and I'm sure he didn't want to get sideways there, but he did. And, I mean, he'll manage. Tate is a very good driver, and he's not just going to fall apart at the slightest inconvenience. So I think, you know, he'll just manage. He'll get the tires under it, maybe drive just a little bit, you know, 99.9% instead of 100, and keep those tires on it a little bit. I think we should be getting pit stops here not too long from now. I don't believe... Ooh, Thomas Capuano, as I'm saying, pit stops. He gets all sorts of sideways on the backstretch and keeps it straight. That's kind of been the name of the game tonight, is we've seen so many trucks get sideways and be able to make some amazing saves. But Capuano still a little bit of almost contact there with the, was that the 04 of Hackathorn, it looks like, his teammate, so still, well, actually no, that was not Hackathorn, that looked like it was Weeks, 97. But we have another battle for the lead, actually Tate Lytle, well, actually a battle for second, but that probably will be a battle for the lead here in pretty shortly. Well, actually, I'm still wrong, that's a battle for third.
Yeah, well, you're doing all right. Numbers are hard. Yeah, this battle's kind of culminating here. Danny got back up to Santi, and Tate got around Danny, and they were about to be 3 wide momentarily as they came out of 2 that last time around. I thought Santi was going to get the run up top, and Tate was going to get it on the bottom. Darren Staff and Austin Beers have pulled away from this group as they continue to fight. Obviously, Beers has about a second lead over Darren, so not much there. Darren's actually going to get in the wall, so we need to stop commentators jinxing people because this is bad. This is not a good way to start the playoffs, but Jake Scarborough, he's going to hold off Tate Lytle and Santiago at the moment. Tate's going to get another lunge at him here. Danny G's going to start pressuring Tate to get around Jake anyways.
I'm sure those Redux trucks would love for nothing more than to get that South Shore 56 kind of out of that whole little gaggle they're in, because he is kind of he's kind of acting as a spoiler for them. They can't really. Ooh, that is the 87 of Patrick Hahey, and he is destroyed. What happened to him? He definitely hit the wall in some very aggressive fashion with the front end, but see if we can find that here on the replay. Back to the front a little bit. Neil Rutt on pit road. I think that is a scheduled pit stop. There's Nate Hall as well, so we are getting right at halfway. I'd have to assume if we cannot make it, Ty, probably most of these guys are going to be looking to pit here about now. Yep, there's Keeler. There's Kynan Jones on pit road, so kind of just waiting for the front of the field to... Kynan Jones with some damage there on the right rear, so he was in the wall or in someone else. Well, that's gonna make it on the video.
Listen, we've been safe. We haven't had one in a while.
Oh, who's that sideways? Was that a
Dewar?
Santi? No, that was Justin Dewar. Similar-ish looking trucks if you look at just the colors, but Dewar, he I saw him spinning towards the pit wall. I think he hit it. That truck is smoking and heavily damaged. That's gonna be game over for him.
The replay.
A lot of damage. Yep, we'll look here on the replay. Sideways, pit wall. Ooh, hard hit. That is about the worst place you could do it in the worst possible way, too. So, bad break for the 32 of Dustin Dewar. He was running about in the P15 before that happened. So, well, he's definitely not going to be running 15th anymore after that. A couple more. Jordan Tarble, one of our part-time drivers who has decided to show up tonight. There's a battle for second. Actually, Tate Lytle has now caught Darren Staff, and that battle is probably not going to be too long. That 56 looks like he is mega quick right now. Somehow, someway, got those tires back under him, and the rear tires not overheated, not overweared, and he's got some speed in that truck.
See Jordan Tarble come out of pit road. Dakota Pignataro, he comes down pit road. Sorry, I had a quick phone call. Oh, Darren Staff gets into the wall, almost. Tate Lytle, he's going to lose Darren Staff. He's not going to be under fire from Daniel Gore for the 3rd spot. Santiago's coming down pit road this time. Dallas Myhan this time. There's Danny G pitting this time as well, so somebody that was just in that fight trying to get an advantage over those guys.
And what we're going to be seeing here is, so the drivers like Austin Beers, Staff, Tate Lytle, they have not pitted yet. And what they're trying to do is keep those, so when they pit, they're going to get new tires, and they're trying to make their fastest part of the stint they're trying to back that up towards the end of the race a little bit. So they're going to lose a little bit of time to the drivers that pitted earlier on tires, but they're banking on trying to make that up near the end of the race. So there's Austin Beers in.
Tate's in. Bojo's in. Just behind Bojo, I believe that is Thomas Capuano.
Wester Green.
Beers was a little sideways. We'll have to see if that was a clean pit entry. I think it was. Just a little animated.
No issues on my end.
Yeah, Tate came in there a little hot, looked a little sideways. Same for Beers, but all seems to be good so far.
Means they're trying, right?
Absolutely. I mean, you got to maximize everything you can. Dylan Thomas coming in this time.
Staff and Miller look like they are staying out still. So 14 to go here. And I think We got Evan still on the racetrack, Gilberto, Timmy, and I think that's it before we cycle through. So Neil Rutt is actually going to get around the 19 of Beers on account of that pitting a little bit early, but you would expect Beers to probably get that later on in the run. Miller is actually going to make a move on Staff here.
Oh, there were
Out
4
of turn
wide.
number 4.
Oh, whoa.
Yeah,
4
Danny
wide.
G and Kate Lytle, they were just going 4 wide with some guys that were on older tires. I don't know how they did that. That was terrifying. James Miller's got to get the pass for the lead done on Darren Staff. You have to wonder how soon these guys are going to stop on pit road. Darren Staff is coming in this time, so I have to imagine James Miller will follow. I mean, these guys are pretty well in the point standings, so maybe trying to do something different, but you have to wonder if this is going to help or hurt.
Yeah, and
Oh.
see, there's... Oh, what happened? Was something happened to Peeler?
Aaron Evans might...
Ooh.
Okay.
All good so
He
far?
blinked, went all the way down the racetrack, and then came up in front of Tate and Danny G, and almost got murdered.
Ew, yikes. Yeah. Not sure. Well. Alright.
Well,
Yeah, we were listening on the radio.
James Miller is in this time. He's going to pit. So that's going to hand the field over to Tim Conrad, but I believe Tim Conrad is also pitting this time by. So put the field in the hands of Darren Staff, who's going to get passed by everybody that just pitted for Freshies.
Jake Scarborough actually is going to be your leader, I believe, with about 2 seconds on Neil Rutt. Actually, he just got passed by Beers. So I believe it's about 2 seconds from Scarborough to Beers. Scarborough should be your leader once we cycle through.
I believe he will right now. P2, actually. Oh, no, because James Miller already crossed the line. So Jake Scarborough is your leader. Sorry, I'm big dumb. Jake Scarborough has about a 2-ish, closer to 1.5 second lead over Austin Beers. 9/10 back to Neil Rutt. And then Tate Lytle, Danny G. They are working through what almost happened to them. Thankfully, they're all right. After a little bit of a scare there with the 48 truck, they are working their way through. So we're going to have a little bit of a fight here. 10 to go.
Do we have a number on the tire difference between the 77 and 19? The 19 was one of the last to pit, and I feel like the 77 pitted. Actually, I could probably look it up here.
I think he was one of the first.
Yeah, so we're looking at about the lap 22 for the 77, and then lap
We have a graph.
26 for the 19. So that's about a 4 or 5 lap difference there. Oh, actually, yeah, we had a graphic for it too.
Guys that are on the older tires, Neil Rutt, 11 lap old. He's the oldest in the top 10 right now. So I would assume that he's going to fall back just a little bit there. The guys on the freshest, Ray Bracey, David Westergreen, and Beers, and Tate Lytle.
So right now, pretty spread out at the front. I think what we're looking for now is for Beers looking to use that tire advantage that he has. I think actually it's coming to play right now. Look at that run he got through turns 3 and 4. He's going to make the move out of turn number 4 and give the lead to Austin Beers. That wasn't even a fight. That tire advantage just quickly, I think Jake just hit the cliff right there, just about, and that was over pretty quickly, Ty.
And the guy that pitted last, James Miller, right now he's got 4 trucks in front of him that he's going to probably blow by. He's got about 8 laps. Watch that gap to him and Beers. I would assume that that's going to close down pretty quickly. Right now it sits at about 5.5 seconds. I'm going to time it by the time they get out of the corner. I would assume that it's probably down to 5.3 or close. The momentum out of the corner, it's going to get to that point, but maybe not. I don't know. Beers, actually, they're pretty even, despite all.
Yeah, actually, well, now Beers is a little bit pulling away, and what James Miller needs to do a little bit further on back is to keep that 9 from giving him any troubles. And it's like Westergreen's not really going away right now in that South Shore machine. We will see a new look for that team next year. We'll probably elaborate on that more in half 2. I think you want to speak on that a little bit, Ty, but battle's still raging on here for P7. James Miller, he really just kind of wants to drive away. I think that their tires are starting to come in and a little bit more, but as we say that, I mean, just doesn't look like he has a drive yet. But making a move around Neil Rutt. Neil Rutt losing that 6th spot. Neil Rutt also one of the first pit. I think that truck is just kind of dead in the water right now on those old Goodyear tires, not really being able to do much except hang on, and he's probably going to lose maybe 1 or 2 more spots here before the end of the race. But further up on the front, leads now about 2 seconds between this guy and, well, not that guy. Not either of those guys. It's the one that's
that
right
guy
there, the other blue truck. And it's about 2 seconds now, growing a little bit. Scarborough, he's going to have a little bit of a problem from behind with the 56 of Lytle. Lytle is one of the quickest trucks on track right now. He is pretty much going to steamroll through right here, make that move for P2, and I don't think that's going to be much of a fight either. Move that 56, not officially at the line, but all intents and purposes, he's going to take the position here into turn number 1. And there he goes, move 56 P2. So Spears, Lytle, Scarborough, Gore, and Bracy, your top 5 with 4 laps to go.
James Miller, he might actually have a shot to get to 4th here. All of a sudden, he has pulled that thing like a lawnmower, fired it up out of these fresh tires. So we're going to see if he's able to do anything with that. Jake Scarborough, he's fallen back quite a bit. I would assume he's probably going to fall back to about the 4th, maybe even 5th spot by the time this is all said and done. He was not as early as Neil Rutt, but still earlier than James Miller and Austin Beers. Tate Lytle about 2.5 seconds back as we see the 45-inch unit there in staff pitted just before James Miller, starting to get up here into the top 10.
Yep, a little bit further on back. Well, I say further on back. This is actually the battle for P number 5. That battle is actually Jake Scarborough falling back a little bit. I think those tires just giving up a little bit, Ty. He pitted a little bit before these guys up here, and I think they just have a little bit better tires. But a good run for Ray Bracy there in the 7. Started 9th, up to 4th, and he's given Daniel Gore a run for his money up here for that 3rd spot.
Yeah, I mean, he's been on an absolute tear, has Ray Bracy, winning at Watkins Glen, 2 top 5s last week in Indianapolis, and to come into these playoffs and right now be about to finish in the podium spots once again for Bojo. That is absolutely huge. White flag in the air for Austin Beers, 2.5 seconds and more over Tate Lytle, so he's going to comfortably, as long as nothing happens, take this win. Daniel Gore going to be 3rd. Ray Bracy, as we mentioned, 4th. James Miller might get to Jake Scarborough for 5th, but I think that's going to be just about it for James Miller.
Yeah, we're pretty spread out here. About 4/10 of a mile from this spot, maybe through 3 and 4. Austin Beers, another win on the season for TMR. He gets the half number 1 here and starts the playoffs perfectly. A win for Austin Beers. Tate Lytle comes home in P2. Daniel Gore in P3, Ray Bracy comes home in P4, and Jake Scarborough rounds out your top 5. Miller, Westergreen, Staff, Aguirre, and Thomas with a good run. Good little advancement from P22 up to P10 for him. Start off the playoffs, but as you see there, all the playoff drivers are notated in the green banners. The only one not in the top 10, Tate Lytle.
And we talk about guys who are playoff drivers with some tough luck there. Thomas Capuano, he's going to be 14th. Matt Hackathorn, 13th. And that's not ideal for those guys, unfortunately. They are going to be, I believe, the first 2 out, even with their points differences there over everybody else. We'll get some updates there from Vic. But nonetheless, Austin Beers does what Austin Beers said he was going to do, and I talked to him earlier this week. He said that he felt like the format was fit for him, and boy, do I think he's proven that.
Yep, here's our results from the race. Austin Beers, I believe that is his 3rd, 4th, 5th win of the season. So give that to Austin Beers. Tate Lytle comes home in 2nd. What a great run for him. All but wrecking. No cautions in the race either. We went caution-free, so that was pretty good to see. Daniel Gore with a P3 on tonight. Ray Bracy coming home in 4th. Great run for him. Good up from P9. James Miller comes home in P6, so that strategy, I mean, kind of worked. He got a little bit of spots there at the end. David Westergreen comes home in P7. Darren Staff comes home in P8. P9 is Santiago Aguirre. Dylan Thomas, P10. Dallas Mayahan comes home in P11. Neil Rutt comes home in P12. Hackathorn, P13. Capuano, 14th. Peeler, 15th. Gilberto Javier Gamera comes home 16th. 17th, Aaron Evans. DJ Weeks, 18th. And we scroll through the rest of the field here. 19th is Conrad, Carble, Pignataro, Hayhe, Kynan Jones, Noah Brown, Nate Hall, Carpenter, and Newer round out your field. So, typical Charlotte races here tonight, Ty. We saw a lot of 2 wide, even 3 wide racing, and then some spread out. Tires were very much a factor. Just a lot of, you saw the wear come into play, and I think we're probably going to see a little bit of a different race here tonight because I believe half 2 will be under the lights.
Yeah, and I mean, that's track gets cooler. Everybody gets a little more comfortable. It's going to make these guys that are in tough situations right now with these playoffs, they're going to want more. So I believe we are going to get ready for picks here for half number 2. Don't quite remember who everybody had, so we're going to let Vic.
Well, I
lead us in.
do. My girlfriend picks first because her pick was the worst of the best. She's gonna go with Austin Beers for half 2. Cam, you're up.
I liked his tire strategy, and I liked his long run speed. Just didn't have enough laps to do anything with it, I think. I'm going to go with James Miller.
Good pick. Carlos, you're up.
Got a nice solid top 10, and I have full confidence he's going to maybe follow that up with a good top 5. Give me David Westergreen.
You
Good
son
pick.
of a...
Hey, this is a family
Whoa.
show.
I said
Ty,
best
you're
pick.
up.
All right. Now that I had to stop somebody else from saying a cuss word because I've never done that, I'm going to go a little bit out of the loop here. Give me Ray Bracing.
We're gonna do all South Shore trucks now. We did Redux the last one. Now we're gonna do South Shore.
Neil,
Is it my turn?
it is your turn.
Yeah. Give me James Miller.
You can't pick James Miller. Ty did. Or Cam did, rather.
Cam? Thought we were friends.
I thought so too.
I'll take my own guy. Give me Dylan Thomas.
PP?
Well, I really didn't think anyone would pick David Westergreen of all people, but let's go with Mr. Jake Scarborough.
He's had some laps. It's a good pick. Timmy, who you got?
I'm going to go with the guy that when he's starting towards the back, full of piss and vinegar, Austin Beers.
Well, bad news.
Bad news.
Like
Can't do that.
you just don't listen. I know you're old, Tim, but your hearing aid should be charged.
Hey, I haven't been here in 6 weeks. Eat me.
An invitation?
That turns your hearing down. Good job.
Yeah.
Who are you picking, Dingus?
How about Neil Rutt?
Dangerous.
I mean, that's...
Why would you do that?
Dangerous.
I don't know why you would do that, but I mean, I'm glad you did. You're gonna go with one modified guy. I'm gonna go with Tom, the modified guy, for half 2.
Can we just say, I want to say something here because we're not going to say it again. Aaron Evans fastest in practice currently. Just
Yeah.
get that out of the way. It's not going to be said again. It's a phrase that we got to get out of the way before,
We got Aaron Evans' pole too.
Do we actually?
We do.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
Dick, thoughts and prayers on this penalty report.
This will be a fun half. This will be a fun half.
Yeah, we've got the good guys in the back, the questionable guys in the front. Tim's out there somewhere. He started to say that. I don't know who moved him, but that was beautiful. He didn't get to say anything back to me. Oh, I love this.
All right, well, we got about 2 seconds before we re-rack him and restack him here for half number 2. I am excited. Half 1 was pretty good. We went caution-free. That's pretty. I mean, anytime you get that in an iRacing race in 2025, big win there. So I don't think half 2 is going to be caution-free. I think half 2 is going to be caution-filled. But we'll see if I'm wrong here. We'll go ahead and get the grid for you going here. Yep, lights are out, so going to have more grip, more intensity, and more. These drivers are going to have more balls tonight. So we'll see if their talent matches up and they can keep those trucks underneath them. And we had a 17 grid invert tonight. So your top 17 are all inverted from where they finished half number 1. On the pole, Aaron Evans, the RK Motorsports driver. He's going to lead the field to the green. I believe that's the first time he has got an invert pole or any type of pole in OSCA. So that'll be very cool to see. Gilberto Javier Gamara rolls off in P2 in that number 99. Adam Peeler in the Binks machine rolls off in P3. Thomas Capuano, TMR number 21, rolls off in P4. Matt Hackthorne, his teammate, rolls off P5. Neil Rutt, I think the sexiest pick of the night, he rolls off in P6. Number 7 is going to be Dallas Mahan. Yeah, I said that. Dallas Mahan rolls off in P7. Dylan Thomas rolls off in P8. Santiago Aguirre, he's going to roll off in P9. Darren Staff in P10. David Westergreen in P11. And James Miller, he rolls off in P12.
It's funny, you mentioned Neil Rutt was the best looking guy. I'm going to nominate Jake Scarborough for one of that. He starts 13th. Ray Bracey 14th. Danny G 15th. Tate Lytle 16th. F1 winner Austin Beers, he starts 17th. DJ Weeks 18th. OSCA Daddy 19th. 20th Jordan Tarble. 21st Dakota Pignataro. 22nd Patrick Kynan Jones 23rd. Noah Brown 24th. 25th Nate Hall. 26th Dave Carpenter. And 27th shotgun on the field Dustin Dewar.
And we got the same amount of laps here for half number 2. We got 40 of them, so don't expect to see any surprises with the pit strategy. I think everybody's going to pit around lap 20 down to lap 15 or so. Maybe some of the drivers saw that the undercut worked a little bit with the track not being as hot and slick as it is in this half. That might work a little bit better. But I think generally speaking, we saw the drivers who pitted around lap 20, lap 19 were the ones who probably balance the old tires and new tires best here. So interesting front row though, Ty. We were talking about this before the end of the race, or for the start of this race. Aaron Evans, he's never been up here. Gilberto has, so he's got a little bit more experience starting up at the front than Aaron does. So we'll see if something can happen there. But that is a very cool scheme that the number 99 is running, a throwback to himself. I believe I've seen that one several years back, so got to be pretty old at this point.
Oh yeah, I think Gilly said it might have been 2018, 2019 for that 99 machine, the look it's got on it. Tim Conrad saying he misses you morons, talking to the guys he's racing with. Obviously, I don't think he misses us because all we do is yap. Neil Rutt with a modified scheme. Pure with the Nerf bars and everything there. Love to see it.
And an epic amount of metal flake.
Might be a warning for number visibility.
Yeah, he's probably going to get one of those. He said he was looking forward to it tonight. We're rolling out of turns 3 and 4. Pace truck is going to take a hard left turn. Hopefully it doesn't last longer than 4 hours. He's going to need to call a doctor. Aaron Evans is going to lead us to the Geico restart zone. Gilberto heads outside. Thomas Capuano, who needs a good run, he's going to restart 4th. We are underway for half number 2. What a good restart for Aaron Evans. Gilly's going to tuck down. Hopefully he's able to get through 1 and 2 a little better than he has the last couple times he started up front. Huge stack up on the inside. Everybody's going to be 2 by 2 on back. Oh, God. There he goes. Oh, shit. Oh, no. Oh, hi.
Said it. Yeah, Gilly, did he get loose or something, or did he just kind of pull out of line? Because he didn't seem like he was all sorts of sideways and out of control, but
it looked like he got loose. We're 3 wide, two multiple times. Oh, no.
Gilly and getting loose in corner number 1 is a combination that we need to stop seeing that a little bit. But this is a chaotic mess here at the front. Everybody is all sorts of everywhere on the racetrack right now. Thomas Capuano is somehow in the lead. He's got Neil Rutt behind him, right up his rear end, and then there is Aaron Evans and Hackthorne battling for P3, and then just a cluster of everybody in the league right behind them.
And you look at the guys that finished the last out of the playoff guys. Thomas Capuano, Matt Hackthorne, they sit 1st and 4th, the highest of them all. Obviously, we're only 2 laps in, but that's what you need if you're Thomas Capuano. You want clean air, you want to pull away.
You got something to prove in this race for sure, and he's doing it right now. Neil Rutt looking very strong. He's going to have the run out of turn number 2 here on that outside. And he's going to actually door bang a little bit with that number 21. Those two are short trackers. They know what they're doing, and they're going to do that just fine into turn number 3. It is still Rut and Capuano side by side, but Capuano, he drives it in, slides it up, and here comes Rut with the crossover. So this is actually some good stuff, good racing, and Matt Hackathorn right behind them is loving what he's seeing in his windshield.
Matt Hackathorn looking up front, but in his mirror, not too far behind right now, side by side with Aaron Evans is Dylan Thomas. Somebody else who needs a good run. Darren Staff, the guy who's been on a hot streak. Oh! That was tight.
Capuano touched the wall.
We have 3 wide into turn 3 here, yep. Battling for the lead, it is Matt Hackathorn, Rut, and Capuano. Now it is Rut and Hackathorn. Capuano a little bit sideways, and I think at the line it's going to be just barely Rut by about 4 1,000ths of a second. Here comes Hackathorn. He's driving it onto that blue line at the very bottom of the track, trying to get some grip down there, but no, that grip is going to be on the outside. Here comes Capuano.
A little bit further back, James Miller starting to work his way through. Back out front, though, Thomas Capuano's going to get the wall again. That's going to give Neil Rutt the lead. He's going to clear Matt Hackathorn. Rutt to the lead here. Leading lap 5. Right on board with Dylan Thomas here.
I think Thomas Capuano just forgot he wasn't driving a modifier right there and just got a little bit cut. So. No harm, no foul, though. Just sparks and a little bit of ego is the only damage right there. But actually, yeah, here Dylan Thomas, he has made his way up to the top 4 in that battle for the lead.
Gilly has fallen all the way back to the 21st spot, so definitely not the start that he wanted. I feel like we say that a lot, but hopefully he can figure it out and try to get a little bit better there as we got a couple more weeks left on the season, so keep your head up, Gilly, if you watch this back, buddy. We love you. Darren Staff, he's up to the 5th spot. James Miller, 6th. Aaron Evans is slowly slipping back after starting on the invert pole. Scarborough, 8th. Santiago, 9th. David Westergreen, 10th. Tate Lytle started 16th. He's only moved up 3 spots so far since the initial restart.
A little bit further on back, this is around P 9, 10, 11, 12-ish. That's 41 Dallas Myhand. I don't think we actually brought him up at all during the last race. Had a very quiet night, finished P11. He's currently running P11. So just about where he ran in the first, well, not just about, it is exactly where he ran in the first race, but he's under fire from the 56 and the 27. The 56 has shown mega speed all night long, no matter what happens to him, sideways, not sideways, on the high side, on the low side. That truck is just fast no matter where it's at. 69 of Daniel Gore. Also one of those looking to have a big night. He finished in P3 in half number 1, so needs to make up a few spots here. But lap 9 of 40, we got plenty of time to do that.
Matt Hackathorn is putting all of the pressure on Neil Rutt right now, somebody who can take that pressure. Mentioned he's a real-life short tracker in the modified division at Wall. So he's got Matt Hackathorn all over him. Thomas Capuano got comfortable. We got a yellow.
Ooh, what happened? I think the 27 of Peeler, yeah, he's sideways there in turn number 3. I don't see there's a lot of damage on that car unless... Oh, Daniel Gore actually involved too. We'll have to look at the replay, but that truck is also had some damage on it. You see the accident there. The 27 actually pitched into the inside wall. I'm not sure if there was net code or just contact there, but the 69, that left front is quite damaged, Ty.
Yeah, looking at the replay here, it looked like Adam tried to maybe line up with Bojo there. Bojo moved down the racetrack. Adam was trying to follow and give him a push, and then he just kind of leaned down into Daniel Gore there.
That's last year's champion on the series, and he's going to be starting the playoffs a little bit from the hole with that.
Yeah, somebody that, talking to him earlier this week, I asked, he's seen a lot of different playoff formats that we've had in OSCA. And this is one that he wasn't really a fan of because of it being a one-night show. You have one bad wreck in one half. And it could be over for you. And somebody that's been as dominant as Daniel Gore has, you hate to see him in a situation like that right now.
Can they make it from here?
But if there is one...
They can.
I don't.
Barely.
I don't believe so. No. Barely? They can? They can or they can't?
25
can
to 30
barely.
was the fuel gap. So they would have to save a little, but they can make it.
Going for it.
Right. Gotcha. Well, to go back on Daniel, if there is one thing I know about that driver... he doesn't have a lot of give up in him, so he's going to get that truck fixed up, and he's going to go back out there and get the best finish he can get. So he's not down and out. He's still a little bit damaged, but 30 laps to go. has some time to do something, and he will do something with that. So I don't think we saw a lot of our front drivers pit. It's still a little bit early for that, but that is going to be interesting if maybe those drivers that pitted kind of further on back. Maybe if we go green from here, they can play some strategy. Maybe save the fuel under the caution and maybe do something with that. But already some strategy being played here at Charlotte.
Yeah, not really the guys that I would expect to take that. Matt Hackathorn, Dylan Thomas, Thomas Capuano, I thought that they would maybe be 3 guys that would pit here. Just to have that security blanket of if we do go green, they have the best tires and they're in the best position, but ultimately opting not to.
I think track position also kind of a factor too. It looked like it was a little bit hard to pass in half number 1, at least until the tires wore off, and then it was pretty easy to pass once you saw that. So just kind of truck racing nowadays. The tires they go through cycles. Sometimes you get into little lines where it's hard to pass, and then the tires wear off, and then it's a little bit easier to pass. But more stops here right now in the second lap of the auction. I think these drivers probably just topping off, yeah, like you said, and making sure that they won't have to worry about that as this race goes on. And we always have the possibility of a green white checker too, so that is going to be a factor that they have to think about. But doubled up for the restart once again. Your lineup is Rut. He's taking the outside on the restart. Hackathorn on the inside. Dylan Thomas. I'm showing him supposed to be starting in P3. I'm not sure why he's on the outside, but he is there. So Dylan Thomas P3, James Miller P4, Capuano P5, Staff, Aarons, Aguirre, Scarborough, and Westergreen round out your top 10. So currently only Gore and Peeler, I believe, have damage. Looks like Adam Peeler definitely has a lot more damage than Gore. That front end of the 27 is pretty flat. So Gore looks relatively okay. I think that truck is not going to be quite up to snuff, but I think he will be good enough to at least make some spots and not run back where he is right now in P24. Pace truck is off. Fields in the hands of the 66 of Neil Rutt on the outside. And here we go. Green flag is out. Ooh, a little bit of a wiggle for him. And I think it's going to be about even at the line between Hackathorn and Rutt. But Rutt gets a little bit of a jump at the kink there. And we're going to be sideways, or side by side, hopefully not sideways, side by side through 1 and 2 with that inside line, I think, having a little bit of an advantage down the back stretch.
Tate Lido with a huge move, made it 3 wide underneath Jake Scarborough and Austin Beers, move him up to the 11th position. Ray Bracey is now going to have to defend from his teammate for the 10th spot. Tate Lytle is on the charge in that number 56 machine. Meanwhile, Matt Hackathorn is going to lead lap 13 here from Charlotte. James Miller, Thomas Capuano, they're looking to make some moves. Aaron Evans is going to blink a little bit. He's still blinking up there, but he's going to maintain the 9th position currently. He's going to be to the outside of Tate Lytle, who's now into the 9th position. The first man on tires right now, I believe, is Danny G, maybe? Kynan Jones? I don't know. Kynan Jones is a little bit further back. Is it Dallas?
Yes.
All right. Shout out Dallas. Going for the move that could save his chase off.
Hold up. Here's the thing. Oh wait, no. He has 6 seconds on pit stop time, so I don't know if he actually did take tires. Maybe right sides. I don't see anybody with more than 6 seconds.
Well, Dallas was one of the ones that topped up, so that's probably just showing his last fuel stop. Oh, he did not?
No.
I thought I saw him come in, but
he was one of the 4 guys that did not come in. The first guy that topped off is Patrick Hahn. In 20.
Gotcha. All right.
We've got a huge gaggle from about 6th on back that is just an absolute dogfight. They are 3 wide right now. Ray Bracey, Jake Scarborough, Aaron Evans. Evans is going to back out, but he's still going to go 3 wide multiple times. He's hard to the outside wall. He's going to stay there. He's going to get passed by Gilberto. Now the 35 of Tim Conrad. Danny G is going to get by. Hackathorn still your leader. James Miller at his outside. Those Team R guys, those 2 specifically, have been absolutely on fire these last couple weeks. Starting at Watkins Glen, we go to Indy. They were 1-2 before Hack ran out of gas. Now they're 1-2 again here in half number 2, about halfway through.
Yep, and they are definitely. You can definitely tell that they run as teammates in other leagues. They run as Team AV/PW, whichever one they choose on running. So those 2 very good at the team game, and they are running 1 and 2 right now. Neil Rutt has fallen back to 3rd. That beautiful number 66. I want to take a look at I think somebody looked like they got close to the wall there, but I think everybody was good there. Want to take a look back in the field a little bit. Austin Beers, he's made his way up to the 14th spot. He's making his way around the outside of Santiago Aguirre right now. He's actually been saving his tires a little bit. I don't think he's been pushing as hard as he probably could have. We saw him really fast there in half number 1, but right there, as I'm saying, he makes a pretty aggressive move on the 7 of Ray Bracy. Very close there through 3 and 4, but he's going to get the spot. But I think he's just trying to go about as slow as he can in Austin Beers terms. Austin Beers really is not very good at going slow. Man is always on the gas, but trying to pace himself here tonight, and I think just make himself get to the end on those. Keep those tires as fresh as they can. I think he knows they're going to have to pit no matter what. Oh, 66 Neil Rutt sideways back up into traffic. That's the number 7 involved. And what happened there? I didn't even see
involved too.
I didn't see what initiated that, but all I saw was the 66 go careening up the racetrack, and he was running in 3rd. What could have possibly happened there? Lord have mercy.
Looked like the 45 involved. Bojo with a huge shot to the front end of that 7 machine.
45 of staff. Ooh, just might have been some net code there, but he was trying to just kind of run the 66 tight, and Neil almost blew over there. That truck got off the racetrack, and
it kind of looked like what happened earlier, where a car was following another truck. Yeah, well, let's get another angle.
Yeah. Neil is actually saying that he kind of just got turned by the arrow. So we'll see the bird's eye view here. Yeah. Neil, he was behind the 04, and he made a little bit of a move there with the 45 there. So it's a little close. Race control, for what it's worth, is going to call that on the 66. So I think you really could have only called that on the 66. I think that's the right call.
Yeah, it didn't look like Darren really moved too much, but everybody's going to come down pit road except for some of the guys that pitted the first time around. Tim Conrad, Kynan Jones, Patrick Hahey, Dustin Dewar, they stay out. Everybody else comes down pit road.
And that is going to be a strategy call, certainly. James Miller is going to win the race off of pit road. That's was that Aaron Evans that was with him? I think he's going to come off second. No, I was looking at the wrong driver.
It was Hackathorn.
Hackathorn, oh yeah, okay. If you look at the front end of their car, they look a little bit similar. But that could be just me being a little bit blind, but it's all right.
They're a little similar.
So 10 laps on the tires of Kynan Jones and Tim Conrad. And it looks like, 9 on Hahey, Dewar, and Weeks. So that is, at first glance, that may not sound like a lot of tires, but 10 laps here at Charlotte, Ty, that's quite a bit.
Yeah, and especially for us, that's a quarter of our race length, right? So definitely not. I would say the plus side of the situation right now is DJ Weeks is actually going to pull down pit lane, so he's going to elect to not do that. He will pit, so now it's just the top 4 that are on those 10-lap old tires, and I would have to imagine that guys like Darren Staff, James Miller, Hackathorn, they are going to probably rip these guys to shreds, I'm assuming.
Yeah, and it's gonna be a bit of a restart. I think just when you see cars in the front with such older tires and whatnot, it's gonna be chaos. Get those trucks behind, just trying to get around them, because there's not a lot of room here at Charlotte. Charlotte's a fairly narrow racetrack. You could go about 4 wide, and that is literally physically it. So yeah, it's going to be tough for those drivers to get behind. They're going to have to show a little bit of patience. They can't just dive it into the corner and expect it to stick entirely, even if you have new tires, because they still have to warm up. They still take about a lap or a couple corners at least, about 2 corners before they warm up to be good. So I think we're just going to see a chaotic restart here, Ty, and I'm very excited.
Yeah, I think it's going to be something to keep your eye on here. I would really more so look at the second row as being where we're going to see a little bit of movement happen, mainly because they're not going to be able to time the restart as well as the leaders will. Something to point out, Tim Conrad, Kynan Jones, they are in a team call, so I would assume that they're going to try to help help each other as much as possible. So Dustin Dewar, Patrick Hahey, they're all two also teammates, and ironically, they're going to be a little bit slower to the gun. Pace truck is in. Tim Conrad will lead us to the restart zone. He's going to punch it. He and Kynan Jones, again, get a great jump. The second row not able to get nearly as much. They're going to be 3 wide already. James Miller to the inside of there. Tate Lytle's going to try to force the issue. Miller's going to move up to 4th. Tate Lytle going to be the 5th out of the corner. Dustin Dewar's going to wash up the racetrack. James Miller's about to be there by the time they get to turn 3.
Yeah, I think the 87 getting a little bit squirrely on that restart was not what everybody wanted to see, because he kind of opened the door for the 7 or the 09 to just kind of have a free lunch there, and through 3 and 4 he has nowhere to go. He can't actually get on the gas to do anything because that 73 is not going anywhere. He's going all sorts of nowhere land right now. So here comes the 56 of Tate Lytle. He's got more clear tracker on the outside. Look at that in front of him up until Dustin Dewar. He's going to get a good run. Actually, 3 wide is going to be the call for the 09 of James Miller. 73 of Kynan Jones. He's not sure what he's going to be doing here in turn 3. He takes the middle line, and everybody actually survives that corner. But at 73, he's going to be stuck in the middle here. It's going to be painful in these next few laps for him.
Darren Staff coming with a huge run. He's going to follow Tate Lytle, try to get to the back of Dustin Dewar. They're going to stack again. Tate's going to be able to go 3 in the middle this time. He's going to get way clear of the 32 out of the corner. They're going to be 3 wide, even further back. Oh, Tim Conrad, Dylan Thomas, James Miller in the middle of that situation.
Yeah, they were 3 wide again, and they stopped better. But Dustin Dewar in the wall on the outside. They were 4 wide. Dustin Dewar is sideways. Oh no! Scarborough is in the wall. Tim Conrad's in the wall. Dustin Dewar's in the wall, and well, there's your wreck. There is your wreck. Santiago Gore involved. Dallas Myhan, I saw him. That wreck started out of turn number 4, and it kind of went towards turn number 1. So interesting development there. 15 laps to go. I think fuel is no longer an issue for just about anyone. I mean, we had our pit stops already, and we got plenty for a potential green light checkered here. But here's the replay. Just a bit of a cluster here, Ty. That went on for really long.
Yeah, Dusty and Tim trying to stay out on old tires, and Dusty got into the wall, and nowhere for anybody to go really behind that once that happened. Saw Sainty go flying in there. Dallas Myhan goes flying in there. Nowhere for those guys to go with anything.
Playoff drivers involved. Santiago was involved there.
I mean, you'd have to look at Dallas Myhan, who finished 11th, one of the lower chase-off guys there in half number 1. He's going to be significantly damaged here with about 14 laps left in half number 2. Yeah, he's broke, I would assume.
Yeah, almost a secondary hit there with a 66 and the 7 coming back to the wreck, but
Dallas, the 2 drivers that have meatball flags.
So
there you go.
I would have to imagine, though, you look at Santi's situation. He did finish 9th in half number 1. He might be okay, but when you got guys like Thomas Capuano, Matt Hackathorn, those guys that finished at the back, Dylan Thomas as well, you are going to be uneasy until this race is over and you hear that you advance.
And you can definitely tell the intensity is up there because these you can't have a bad night with only 4 events, 8 races effectively to end the season. I mean, you're in race number 2 right now of those, so you can't have a bad night. So it's just it's really imperative to keep the truck just going straight and not get involved in someone else's wreck. And we're going to see situations where something like that happens, and it's just it's really a matter of just keeping your nose clean and keeping it to be your own race for yourself. So 13 laps to go here. Tate Lytle actually was able to get back up to the lead there with he shot out of a canyon basically. So the famous BP saying. So
is it the Grand Canyon?
Yeah, that's the famous Benny Parsons saying. It's shot out of a canyon.
Okay.
I don't know how Kynan Jones got a furled black flag.
That means...
Was he in a situation where he had to cut through the grass to not die?
I still haven't seen one happen in an oval.
Sometimes it does trigger awkwardly sometimes, but yeah, it's an odd one. That's a head scratcher. He's going to stay out on the racetrack, so I would assume he's going to get a black flag clear from race control. Tate Lytle, your leader right now. Darren Stapp to his outside. Dylan Thomas third. James Miller fourth. Thomas Capriano fifth. Hackathorn sixth. Wester Green seventh. Beers eighth. Danny G ninth after his early contact. 10th for Kynan Jones.
Very interesting development this way, or the way this race has played out. Seen some of the playoff drivers have some issues, and seen some of the non-playoff drivers have some success. So we're still going to have, 11 laps to go once we get going green here. And Tate Lytle, I mean, somehow in the lead here. I think if he gets set sail here, I think it's going to be probably tough to beat that 56 truck. But we've seen the 45 be tough all night. The 13 of Dylan Thomas, he's been pretty solid all night. Finished 10th in half number one, running third now. And James Miller, I think, probably one of the quicker drivers on the old tires. We're not going to really get to that point because we're only going to have 11 laps to go to the end, but look for that 09 to be very aggressive here to end the race. And personally, I mean, I picked him, so I hope he does well. But that's probably a bad thing because usually the drivers I pick get involved in something. So if you see the 09 like explode and go flying here, don't be surprised. Pace truck is off. Field is in the hands of 56 of Tate Lytle. And the green flag is in the hands of the starter. Here we go. Good restart on the inside for that 56. No surprise there. He's going to get about 2-3 car lengths, maybe even 4 into turn number 1 on that 13. Actually, the battle is with him and the 45 for second. And then it's James Miller on the outside line for P4. We'll see where the momentum heads in turn number 2. I think it's going to be on the outside. Looks like the run is with the 45, just barely into turn number 3. He's going to have to keep that gas in the truck to get that move made for P2. On the outside of that 13 of Dylan Thomas. And here he goes. Give P2 to Darren Stapp. Here comes James Miller trying to follow him as well. And yeah, we've got a gaggle of trucks here. It looks like kind of how this race has looked all race long, guys. Big gaggle of trucks.
Talking about keeping gas in the car, somebody who couldn't do that last week, Matt Hackathorn, he fell back way far. He was about 4 restart. He's way back. Oh, we got contact. Dylan, Austin Beers. David Westerman.
That's going to be big.
Dylan Thomas and Austin Beers. That's huge for Dylan Thomas. That might end his playoffs.
Yep, Austin Beers as well. I mean, he's got the win from half number 1 to bank back on, but wow, what a crash that was. And I think Daniel Gore, he's saying we need to go on board with him through that wreck. So I'm actually looking to see what he saw here. We'll get the replay. And I think the 13, did he just get in the wall and kind of just, I didn't really see the initiation of the wreck there. 71 of Dave Carpenter involved as well. Big hit there. Look at the 13. He gets in. Whoa, that's the 21 of Capuano was there. I think the 13 and the 21 got involved a little bit, and the 13 gets pitched into the wall, and you see what happens.
Yeah, a lot of guys. David Westergren able to hold on to that.
On board, Daniel Gore.
Here in a second. On board with Danny G. We had a front row seat to that. That is terrifying.
Yikes, yeah, you don't want to see cars lifting off the ground at Charlotte. That is that is very wild.
Absolutely not.
On board with Beers here, and he's just going to get nothing you can do there as a driver. When that truck is pitched down, it's going to take you with him. So, I mean, not that's a lot of damage, but it's not race any damage for the 19. He'll be able to get out there and get the points. And as we already said, got the win in half 1. Had a lot of playoff points coming into tonight. He should be relatively fine-ish. Fine-ish with an asterisk.
Yeah, somebody who might have just got a little bit more comfortable. Ray Bracey, he had some issues earlier in the race. He is on pit road fixing more damage. The front end of that machine's still pretty crunkled. He is currently 15th when he crossed the line there. Crunkled, tickled, crumpled. I know what the word is. I'm just, I don't know, man. It looks like a Ruffles.
Rumpelstiltskin. There we go.
That's one way to put it, I guess.
19.
How would you have even
A little bit more damage than I thought he would have had. That whole right side's a little bit, it looks like lasagna. So You don't want to see that on a stock car.
Garfield
Lagana.
mentioned. Lagana. Ray Bracy gonna pull
Is
off
cake
the pit
lasagna?
road. No. There's no meat. There's no pasta.
Cake lasagna? Oh, you're asking is cake lasagna? Yeah.
It's not.
No. I mean, unless you're on one of those cooking shows where everything is kind of like cake, then it might be, but
Yeah, you can. I think you can make a lasagna cake, but cake is not lasagna. No.
no. Is a hot dog a sandwich?
No. It's a hot dog.
No. Okay.
It's one piece of bread. think a
Is
sandwich requires
what's
2
the other
pieces of
one? What did somebody ask me the other day? Well, the other day, maybe like a
corn
month
dog is
ago.
part of the
Is a
Wellington
toaster
family.
strudel a ravioli? That's what it was. Is a toaster strudel a ravioli?
I would say yes.
Honestly,
Hot takes
Yeah.
here on 3 TV.
So is a fruit gushers.
I guess so. All right, we're halfway down the back straightaway with about 7 laps to go here. 6 once we take the green flag. Tate Lytle is going to lead us back to green in that number 56 Traders Brewing South Shore Ford F-150. Darren Staff second, Thomas Capuano third, well fourth, James Miller third, Jake Scarborough fifth, David Westergreen sixth. I'm saying it backwards because they're backwards lined up on the screen, so don't worry about it. Danny G seventh, eighth Noah Brown. Ninth is going to be Patrick Hahey, 10th Aaron Evans. So some unusual contenders up here fighting for top 10 spots, but when you have a lot of people wreck and get involved in wrecks, that's what's going to happen. Tate Lytle leads us to the restart zone. Darren Staff to his inside. We are in the restart zone now. Tate Lytle with another great jump. He's going to probably end up with about 4 or 5 car lengths by the time he gets to turn 1. Darren Staff not able to get going too well. Thomas Capuano dead even with him. James Miller's going to look to try to go 3 middle. He's not going to have any room there. David Westergreen's going to force the issue. He wants to get to the top 5. Jake Scarborough just outside in 6th. Looking at these guys that might have just pitted and fixed the damage. They might be working their way through the field.
Into turn number 3 here. Battle for the first battle on track is for P2. It's the 45 of Staff and the 09 of Miller. That restart from the 56 was all sorts of great. He actually was able to gap by about 5 car lengths into turn number 1. Then I was going to say that might have been all she wrote if this race went green, but here comes the 45 of Staff. He's not going to let that 56 get out of the lead too much here. And then 09 as well. That 21 of Capuano, we haven't seen him up at the front all night. He's been about 15th to 10th, but he's up here in the top 5 battle in the 4th spot, looking to make a move on his teammate on the bottom side. I think here comes the battle for the lead here. Here comes the 45 of Staff on the inside through turns 1 and 2. He's got a good run, trying to make a move on that 56 of Lytle. And we saw Staff, we were talking about him earlier on half number 1. He got his first win last week at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Trying to go for 2 in a row here at Charlotte. Tate Lytle says, I don't think I'm going to let you have that. He's going to take that lead back. And James Miller on the outside trying to get around Staff. I think James Miller give that position to him in turn number 1.
Thomas Capuano says, thanks, James. I'll take a peek. Jake Scarborough's going to take outside of Tom. Tom got a little tight there in turn 2. Jake's going to be dead even. He's going to actually take a little bit of a lunge ahead of him in turn 3. Tom's going to take a deep run in. They're going to bump doors. They're going to make contact. They're going to lean on each other pretty hard. They're going to be... Oh, Danny
big
G!
trouble! Wow! 69 was all... He was upside down just about. Who was that? Was that the 73 that also...
Oh my god! Oh,
damn.
no, that's a
Oh.
penalty.
Yeah. Oh, God
Hate to
bless
see
America.
that. You really hate to see that.
Oh, Tim, buddy.
Well, we'll get the replay queued up here, but...
Oh, no, I see what happened for Tim.
Ooh.
There was nothing Tim could... I mean, Tim, oh, no. Keep in mind, Tim's in VR, so he sees Bojo and Dakota stopped, slams the brakes, and he's locked.
Oh.
He's locked up. He is locked up. There's not much he can do.
Well, a not-so-good night for the 69 of Danny G goes very much worse after that one. Some contact there. Who was that contact with initially? He got
It might have
hooked.
been the 87 of Patrick Hahey that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Had a little bit more of a run than he assumed that he would by the time he got to Daniel Gore.
Looking 3 middle there, and
Just off the corner.
I mean,
Danny went to maybe he thought he was clear. Tried to arc out to get a little bit more optimal line through the tri-oval.
what a wild wreck there. 2 cars up in the air, and one of them actually grinding the fence a little bit. Well, a lot of it. He's just kind of up there. Kynan Jones gets back on the track, able to drive away somehow, but yeah, not what you want to see. Playoff contender there, and Danny G, he had a tough night already to start earlier in the race, was involved in the wreck, and if the head-on hit to the wall wasn't going to do it for him, it was that right there. The hit
That
from
might
Tim
still get a
Conrad.
penalty.
So we're listening to race control there. It looks like the only penalty for that wreck is going to be the 48 of Aaron Evans on the 73 of Kynan Jones, that contact. So interesting call there. I don't see how you can call the 48 and 73 thing otherwise. I think that's the right call, but still debating on the 69 there. Actually, yeah, just called it on the 69, the first contact.
I think Danny might have actually asked for an EOL there, just to make sure that he's not in the way of cars with his significant damage. But yeah, the Aaron Evans kind of Jones situation.
Well, almost seems like a whole world away, but half 1 caution free, half 2 certainly not. I think we've had about I think this is our 5th caution. Yep, there it is on the screen. 5 cautions in 40 laps is
9 laps.
quite a bit.
Wait, no, not 9 laps. That'd be 45. I don't know. So Aaron Evans not happy with the call that Vic made. Argued it, and Vic was explaining everything. Coda throwing a little bit of fun out there with Santy. Pace truck is going to pull off here in 3 and 4. Tate Lytle holds the lead over James Miller for row number 1. Row number 2, Jake Scarborough, Darren Staff. 3, Thomas Capuano, Patrick Hahey. Tate Lytle's going to get another good jump, probably actually just about as good as what he had earlier on in that last restart. Darren Staff to the inside of James Miller. Jake Scarborough all over James Miller as well. Thomas Capuano's going to look under Patrick Hahey, who's going to chop Thomas Capuano. That was a lot closer than it probably should have been. Tate Lytle, though, out front, 0.3 of a second lead. About halfway down the back straightaway, contact Dylan Thomas, Dustin Dewar a lot further back.
Two laps to go here. Coming to the white flag. It is the best battle on the track is for second. James Miller and 45 of Darren Staff going at it. James Miller actually has it going into turn 1 here. He's going to chop that 45. Now it's almost 3 wide for third. 77 of Scarborough. It's Scarborough, Staff, and Hahey there. Ooh, sideways, 2 trucks, sideways, Beers and Westergreen in the wall. No caution because we are white flags. More trucks in the wall. More trucks. Oh my goodness, what is happening here? Trucks are just wrecking everywhere. There's Kynan Jones on the inside trying to avoid everything. And out of turn number 4, Tate Lytle gets the win. And wow. Oh my goodness, what a last lap there. Woo. Tate Lytle gets the win. He comes home 2 tenths ahead of James Miller, and Darren Staff rolls out to podium position. Scarborough and Hahey roll out your top 5. What happened there on the last lap? There was about 5 cars that all wrecked in every sort of direction. We'll have to look at the replay here. I definitely saw the 9 of Westergreen, the 19 of Beers, 32 of Dewar, the 71 of Carpenter, and I think Hackathorn was involved in something there as well.
Hackathorn went flying into the inside wall. So I would have to assume that might be the end of his playoff hopes with a 13th and a 19th. Not doing great there. Austin Beers involved, obviously. Tate Lytle will win half number 2 here from Charlotte. Other notables involved, looking through David Westergreen, obviously one of them. Danny G got 18th there after his incidents earlier on. But we will run through the field here. Of your finisher, David Westergreen, going to come and celebrate with his driver. And maybe try to cool off a little bit there. And what I would assume would still be his playoff hopes still alive.
Yeah, let's go ahead and get through here. Tate Lytle comes home as your winner for half number 2. James Miller rounds off a pretty good night. 6 and half number 1, second half number 2. Pretty good start to the playoffs there. Half number 2, he was the highest finishing playoff driver. Tate Lytle, of course, not eligible anymore. Darren Staff comes home in 3rd. Jake Scarborough, good night for him overall. He comes home in P4. Almost didn't even make the race. Patrick Hahey with a good run, top 5 in half number 2. Gilberto Javier Gomera comes home in P6. Good run for him as well. Thomas Capiano, 7th. Noah Brown, 8th. DJ Weeks, the part-timer, in 9th. Neil Rutt comes home in 10th. Aaron Evans, 11th. Dakota Pignataro, 12th. Ray Bracey, 13th. Dylan Thomas, 14th. David Westergreen, 15th. Kyna Jones, 16th. Austin Beers, he had some trouble on the last lap. He comes home in 17th. Daniel Gore, he had all sorts of trouble tonight, comes home 18th. And then we'll get the rest of your grid, or rest of your finishing results up here. It's going to be Matt Hackathorn finishing 19th. So we can scroll down to him. David Carpenter, P20. Dustin Dewar comes home in P1. Tim Conrad, P22. Santiago Guerri, P23. P24 is going to be Dallas Myhand. Peeler, P25. Jordan Tarble and Nate Hall, P26 and P27. So, as we've seen in OSCA tonight, Ty, it's the tale of two halves. Half one, clean green all the way. Lots of spread out racing near the end. Half two, not clean green all the way. We didn't see a lot of spread out racing. We saw a lot of close cautions and contact here tonight. A lot of playoff drivers involved in messes, just all throughout the half number 2. And wow, what a way to start our championship run here.
Yeah, as we get a look on the TrueWide TV replay cam, David Westergreen gets a little loose. Austin Beers gets into the back of him. Hackathorn gets into the back of Beers, so that's, I imagine, a teammate conversation that will happen. Dustin Dewar involved, Hackathorn involved. Dewar up into his teammate, clobbers him. Kynan Jones from the window to the wall to avoid that one. He's going to barely sneak by. See Dustin Dewar going to park it by the NBC Sports logo there. Ray Bracey looked like able to get by it. Dakota Pignataro by it. Hackathorn's going to end up parked in the inside, but he's going to get it back rolling. So many different playoff guys involved, and I mean, as far as the point tallies go, obviously I think we have our ideas of the situations that some drivers are in. I've already mentioned Matt Hackathorn might be in trouble. You look at Santiago, 9th and 23rd, he could be in trouble. And then Danny G, I feel like, had a good enough night, same with Austin Beers, to maybe balance that out. But until we get that total of the two drivers that are going home besides AJ Plemons, we are going to have some speculation. But nonetheless, we have our finisher in P3 for half number 2, Darren Staff. I believe Cam is standing by with him.
I sure am. Darren Staff, this is Cameron Rich up in the booth. You got a copy?
Yes, I do.
Well, we talked to you last week. We said with the first win, you get a sort of monkey off your back, and it certainly becomes a lot easier to run well and be in position after the fact. And I think we saw that tonight. I mean, you were strong in both halves. Probably first half didn't get the position you maybe deserved to finish in. But, I mean, P8 is not bad at all. And then P3 and half number 2, just take us through your night. It's a great start to playoffs for you.
Yeah, I mean, first half, I think both halves tonight, I arguably say I think I had the pace to win. But half one, I thought if I stretched the fuel, I could make it, or I could have a way bigger tire advantage. And guess lasted a little too long because I realized as soon as I got out back on track that I was not going to gain the ground that I needed to. And then half two, I mean, the cautions just kind of fell in the right place. I mean, the first one was a little rough, but near the end there, I just wish we could have gotten an actual run at Tate there at the end, because I felt like I had a quicker car than he did, but we got like a bunch of cautions and a bunch of restarts and couldn't get back to him.
Well, as you know, we kind of have a little bit of an elimination thing going on for the playoffs, so I would just heavily assume that you are safe from that. A lot of other drivers had worse nights than you, and you had some point buffer going into the playoffs. Everything is still, of course, unofficial until Vic says so, but we're going to assume so. We go to Circuit Gilles Villeneuve next week in Montreal. Bit of a different race than this one. How are you feeling about that one? Do you think you can survive another round of elimination there?
I mean, road courses I've had a decent record at. I do like Montreal a lot, but obviously I don't know how a big heavy truck is gonna work around there. But I'm confident, and with the momentum I feel like I've got going on now, I'll hopefully find some pace there and be able to avoid the second round of elimination.
Absolutely. Well, just one quick question, just because you are a first-time winner from last week. How did it feel coming to tonight? Just knowing that you got that win off your back, and did it feel any different coming to the racetrack and just not having that little thing in the back of your mind?
I mean, it definitely helped knowing that I got a win last week, and so I can try to ride the momentum into tonight. But I took the race the same way as I had every week. I knew I had a lot of momentum even before Indy, that I felt like I had a lot of good pace. And just took tonight how it went. I knew I had a quick car at the beginning of the race, and so just tried to see if I could get win number 2 on the night.
Oh, heck yeah, man. That's the racer's mentality. Well, before we let you go, you got any shout-outs for us?
Yes, first of all, I got called out by my family for not calling out my mom after Mother's Day and my girlfriend. So first, shout-outs to them. And then Accelerated Cloud Solutions for being on the car past couple weeks. Carlos, obviously, for giving me the opportunity at RK. Just broadcast booth in general. You guys do a great job all year, even though I saw the broadcast last week of that win, and that seemed a little rough in that half one. But it seems like you got it all fixed tonight. Yeah, it seems like you guys got it all fixed tonight. So you guys still do a great work, and appreciate all the work you guys do all year.
Well, we very much appreciate that. That's Darren Steff, winner last week, and starting off his playoff run with a pretty good run tonight with a 8th and a 3rd. And I think with that, we're going to go ahead and I think we got James somewhere here. And Ty, you're going to speak with him.
James, it's Ty for the booth, buddy. You got a copy?
I gotcha.
Really awkward talking to you here of all places after what we realized happened. Well, we realized, I'm sure we both have remembered it happening, but nonetheless, buddy, you start the playoffs with a 6th and a 2nd. You and Matt, I know Matt didn't get the results that he deserved there at the end, but you guys, these last couple weeks have been in complete control of where you guys have been able to put yourselves with strategy-wise, and you come home tonight with a very good run, and I would have to assume, based off of where you started, that you easily move on into the second week of the playoffs.
Yeah, I would certainly hope so. Yeah, the first race, that caution kind of changed the strat a bit, and I was just kind of expecting or hoping, I don't know what I was, but with us pitting early or under caution early, just run around, saving fuel, not really burning tires, I was like, well, that kind of pushes the pit window back, and we were able to run to lap 30 instead of lap 26, and I was like, okay, maybe I'll run it long and just take 2. And I mean, it was cooking with the 2, but I just lost too much ground with everyone pitting in before me. So I was like, okay, we're not doing that second race. And then it didn't matter because it was just cautions at the right times, but it was just caution after caution, and just didn't get the run to Tate like I was hoping for, but definitely will take second and 0x out of. I don't think anybody else did that second race, so I will take that bonus point.
All right, buddy. Well, moving on to Montreal. Obviously, we know that you guys are going to bring the Tim Hortons cars back, you and Hack, and I'm looking forward to that. Maybe not necessarily the not being able to tell which one is which, because that was a struggle for me when I happened to Watkins Glen. But you're very good at road courses. I know that you kind of take pride in your speed there. Are you looking to maybe go for a sweep, or are you just going to try to focus on maximizing points depending on what situation you're in?
I would love to sweep the weekend or the weeknight, however you want to look at it. But yeah, I didn't realize that this was like point reset after every week, which in my opinion is really, really terrible, because this is just gonna be a melee every race. Everyone's just gonna be desperate to not be the last three. So I mean, Montreal race 1 should be no problem. The invert, I think, is gonna be aggressive. I'm sure there's gonna be a lot of dives and dooring. So hopefully we can make it through that. Yeah, like I mean, I'm gonna go race for the win both races, but you know, if we have to salvage points, we'll salvage points. But past that, I'm sure New Hampshire's gonna be terrible, just from everyone being desperate to get to the final. So yeah, I kind of wish we kept points from here on to the end as buffers. It just means we're gonna have to be on our game each race, which shouldn't be an issue. It's just I can't control the others around me, so we'll do the best we can.
All right, buddy. Before we let you get back down and debrief with everybody, any shout outs you want to give?
Yeah, just thanks to Cam for the truck. Thanks Hack and Beers and Thomas for being there, for being my teammates, getting me this far. I wish they all had better nights. We were doing really good there the second race. We were all lined up, and then everyone just kept wrecking. So I don't know. I don't know where points look like. Hopefully Hack makes it through, and Thomas, I think, were the ones towards the end. Obviously Beers, congrats to him winning the first heat. We should be battling him for the rest of the season. So I look forward to it.
We actually do have playoff news. So Clemens, who did not start, we assumed that he was just out. Vic made a last minute decision. Kynan bumped in because of that. He would have been the first guy out. But so Kynan was in. We did not know that. I don't even know if Kynan knew that. Unfortunately, Kynan, Dallas, My Hand, and Hack have all been eliminated from this first week. So
no,
yeah. So it might be better coming from you. It might be better coming from you though, rather than Vic. So
okay,
we'll let you have that news and carry that burden.
You sure Cam can't do it? Cam, you do it.
Cam's a little busy right now.
Yeah, I'll delegate that to you. So.
Oh damn it! Okay.
You get overtime for it though.
All right, buddy. We'll have fun delivering that bad news, and we will see you next week in Montreal to hopefully keep going.
All right, sounds good.
That was James Miller, your runner-up in half number 2, and I believe Cam is going to get his other driver, Austin Beers.
Before that happens, I just want to quickly say, like, Dallas being eliminated sucks because he, I think, was the only driver to have finished every single lap of a race this season, and tonight he gets his first DNF.
Oof. Yikes. Hate to see it.
Did I make it?
Well,
yeah, buddy. Yeah, I mean, you were like the first or second seed, and you won the first race. So, Austin, I would certainly hope so.
I don't know how these playoffs work, if I'm honest. So I'm just.
we're all kind of learning as we go. But hey,
now.
I'll take that as that you got a copy. Hey, I mean, it's cool. I'm interviewing you with you being the half 1 winner. I just wish half 2 wouldn't be in the garage after like the world's worst half lap or last half lap where everything just went wrong. But tell us about your night, and that was a definitely interesting race for both halves. Tale of two halves, really.
Yeah, the first half it was like just run my own pace, especially when I got out there and Tate tried to wreck himself on my nose, which I'm sure he'll mention when he's in here. But yeah, just try to save the right front as much as possible, and once the drop off happens, that's when I'll pit, and got on the pit road pretty good. And then Tate was like 2 or 3 seconds behind me, and then that incident happened with the 48. I was like, wow, this race just got a lot easier, and Scarborough was down on tires, and I was able to get around him, and then just make sure Tom didn't do anything stupid to cause a yellow the last couple laps, and was able to get that win. That felt good. Then the second half was just kind of taking it easy, trying to make my way forward, because apparently if you 0x a half, you get a playoff point, I think. So I was trying to do that, and then I went 3 wide with Westergreen and Tom because Tom missed the corner and gave up all of his momentum. And then the 13 cleared himself, and we got in a wreck, and Westergreen blamed me. That's great. Love you, D West. And then on the last lap, I was hurt because I almost hit the catch fence in the 3 when I got wrecked. So I was trying to keep my momentum up, and Westergreen was also hurt, which I had no prior knowledge, and he was sideways in front of me and a lot slower, and I tried to go above him and just clipped him in the right rear, lifted. Then Hackathorn got in the back of me, and all hell broke loose. But I hate it for everybody that was involved, but just a lot of wrecked cars racing with a lot of wrecked cars at the end, but still happy to finish P1 and half number 1, start the playoffs off right.
Yeah, and I'm sure you're gonna be happy to hear this. Montreal next week. What's your strategy for that one? Because I know that not your favorite type of racetrack.
Just put together 2 solid halves. Just try to finish top 10 both halves, and I think I'll move on to the next round and then go to all 3 tracks that I think it's 3 tracks that I'm very familiar with and like very much. So just put my differences with road courses aside for a week and just try my best.
Yeah, I think Montreal is going to be a bit of a special case just because the walls are so close there, and you're going pretty fast compared to a lot of road courses we run. So one little mistake is going to really be the end of a race, I think, at that track. So I think survival is going to be the name of the game. But yeah, yes, awesome. Sir. Before we let you go, any shout out?
Yeah, obviously Team Mixture Rich had fun in there tonight. Hacks Discord, Black Flag Podcast, The Joy of Seating, Troy Race Cars, Shark Lounge. You guys do a great job through ITV. Love watching these, every week or whatever. It's fun racing OSCA. Vic does a great job. Just hopefully we can actually get the championship this year. It's been a long time coming for me. I've been in here since OSCA was Cloud 9, so that's a pretty big throwback for your early listeners. But just excited to have the chance to run for the championship this year.
And it's kind of looking like it might be between you and your teammates, so that'd be exciting.
Yeah, exciting for everybody else, not us in Discord.
I would love it. It'd be great content.
Yeah, yep.
I'll be stressed the hell up here though, but.
Oh yeah, anyway. I was yelling at Tom too much tonight, so we're already yelling at teammates.
We're yelling at Tom is fair. That's just normal day. Yeah. Well, thanks for talking to us, and great run tonight. Shame that it just kind of ended like that because you were running really good there, and I kind of pointed out in the broadcast that it seemed like you were being a little bit more patient than usual. So good to know that I wasn't crazy and you had a little strategy there. But we'll see you next week in Canada, and hopefully we can get an interview next week.
That'd be crazy, but thank you.
Hey.
Hopefully that happens.
Maybe some confidence for you.
Yeah. All right. I'll take it.